What's going on, guys? It's UrAvgConsumer, and today we're going to be spending a real day in the life with the new Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. We got I've been using this phone for a little bit. I got a lot of thoughts, but today we're going to be spending a real day with the phone. So you guys are going to see me handle a day of work. We got a special treat. Ari's in the building. She probably doesn't want to be on camera, but that's okay. But she'll be around. You guys will hear her. But you know the drill. And if you don't, we're gonna spend a day with the phone, check out all of its new features, battery life, see how it feels in the hand, the display, cameras, all that good stuff. Everything you wanna know, we're gonna see how it works in the real world. So let's get right to it. And we might just be shooting a massive tech unboxing today, guys. Your boy's excited. What's up, gorgeous?
Hi.
You excited?
I am. Are you ready right now?
I am. It looks like they put a lot of sharpening on this.
I can see your little pores too.
Your boy getting old, man. What you think, Ari? And I can tell you guys right from the start, using a phone without a case is the most nerve-wracking thing. This phone is no different. It feels really good in the hand, but something about it, it's almost so premium that when just out in normal spaces like Dunkin' Donuts, I am so fearful of dropping it. So I know I cannot wait to go put a case on it. So everyday things like this can be a lot less scary. Look at Jay, hard at work with the boxes. Yeah. So one of the features that we're using right now, you guys, is the auto framing feature, where you can see it's tracking Jay as he's doing this. But if Carl were to jump into the frame, it's supposed to automatically detect Carl and then reframe and get both of them in the shot. And I have not moved this phone once, so it's been in the same spot. And is it trying to get Kevin? It's working on it. Yeah, it's kind of got Kevin. I don't see a box around his head, but it's definitely taking him into account. I mean, this could be a cool feature if you're trying to get like a dynamic shot with multiple people. It supports up to 10 people within 5 meters. In the world of things going so digital these days, I feel like there could be a space for it. But as of right now, it's a little, I don't know, it's moving around a lot more than I would like, but I see what they're trying to do. It's a lot of movement though. All right, you guys, we're all set up for this massive tech unboxing. I'm hyped. But more importantly, we gotta talk about this guy. First of all, this feels like a very, very premium phone. I think Samsung nailed it in terms of just like it feeling like a high quality device. They absolutely nailed it, feels that way. Now, I've said it a million times already. I'm not a fan of screens with like the curved edges. To me, it feels more like a nuisance than something positive. I know that's the way of all manufacturers now. It's not like a Samsung thing. I think with the Pixel 6 Pro, it had the curved screen while the 6 had the flat. The 22s, the regular 22s have like the flat screen. Let me go grab one real quick. So this right here is the S22 Plus. And for me, it's not on or anything, but like the screen, like everything is just right here. It's flat, love it. Even the edges, I really dig the edges. You guys can kind of see that there. I miss the housing that all the cameras used to be in. Where's the, let me get another phone. I have too many and I probably don't have it then. All right, I left it home. We'll throw in some B-roll though. I like the housing of the Galaxy S21 Ultra. I don't know, it looked cleaner. This, it looks like they just threw some camera lenses up top. It's not a big deal. I'm obviously just nitpicking about the design, but that's how I feel about it. One thing I will say though, if you keep this thing in your pocket, you might notice there's gonna be tons of dust collecting around the actual lenses. So you might find yourself cleaning that off quite a bit. For as much as I dislike the curved edges, this screen is gorgeous and it gets really bright. But we'll talk about the screen a little bit more later. We've got the S Pen at the bottom. So now this is officially a Note, but it's the S22 Ultra, Note in the name. And it was just kind of weird when the Note would come out and kind of combat the Ultra. So it's like, which one's the real powerhouse? Well, now the Ultra is, cannibalize the Note, and I think that just makes it a lot easier for everybody. All right, guys, so we just finished wrapping like the massive tech unboxing. It's so funny, someone literally just sent me a tweet about needing the next massive tech unboxing. So I just took a picture of the boxes that we had. throw that in there. Now typing on this has been pretty fine, even though it's a really large screen. I'm used to having a large screen because I use the iPhone 13 Pro Max on a daily. So I've got the big Pixel 6 Pro in my pocket as well. So I feel pretty comfortable doing just about anything on this, although I don't like the feel when I'm outside. It just feels like it might slip out my hands. And that's just part of like these premium phones. When you got that Gorilla Glass in the back, you know, it's a slippery phone. When I'm inside and I feel safe, typing on is fine. After this video, you know I'm throwing a case on here. Now you guys already know, shooting Massive Tech unboxing is always fun, but it was getting dark and we needed to get a couple more shots in so we can test out some of the features of the different camera lenses, as well as this feature built into the screen that was specifically tailored for working outside.
All right guys, so we wanted to jump outside really quickly because I did mention before that this thing has a pretty amazing screen. It is beautiful to look at. And let's see, one thing that's really nice is that you can maximize the brightness. Now this has, I think, a peak brightness of 1750. So 1,750 nits. So that's really bright. But what's great is right now it's at max brightness. I can pretty much see it clearly outside. You can see that, right, Jay? We do have some clouds out there in front of the sun, so it's not the brightest day in the world. But what's great is that even if it was, there's an extra setting that you can actually jump into. Let's see, adaptive brightness, we turn that off. You can actually turn on this extra brightness feature. So it'll boost the...
That looks a lot better, actually.
Let's see, we jump into... This looks like, this is...
That's a proper exposure for the camera.
Oh, yeah, this looks a lot better.
We've never got those before.
Yeah, man, no, this is nice. Now, there is a feature called Vision Booster. It basically takes in the amount of light that you have around you, and it can boost the colors of the content that you have on your screen. And when you're watching content, let's throw up some YouTube really quick. Anime channel coming soon. Oh, Jay, this is the perfect scene, man, because this is a scene during the night, and you can still see everything really clearly.
I can see on the camera.
Usually a nighttime scene like this, outdoors, oh, forget about it. You're not gonna see the detail of what's on the screen. That's gonna be tough. But right now, I'm seeing everything. So yeah, guys, this screen, it gets extremely bright. One of the brightest screens I've ever seen. This is top tier stuff. While we're out here, Jay, might as well grab a photo or something. Oh, you know what, Jay? Can you take a picture of me facing the sun with my white hoodie? There's a lot of stuff. This is a challenging shot. How we looking, Jay? Oh, okay. Cover of my mixtape. Now this is where a bright screen really comes into play, because when you're looking at things like photos outdoors, it is always a struggle. This is a black door or black housing over here, and we can still see the seams and everything pretty clearly. This is a really challenging shot, Jay. And I think he handled it pretty well. Now, if I were to take this shot, let's say away from the sun, man, I hate handling that thing outside. It's so scary. I mean, these aren't bad. Zoom in, see everything clear as day. Is that even 108 megapixels? No, that's not. So we still get really detailed shots. We're gonna do one more, 108 megapixels. And let's turn on the detail enhancer. It is on, we've got it right here. So that's off, on. Detail enhancer should give us a little bit more clarity and sharpness. Ooh, boy, can you zoom in though. Wow. Look at the detail on just my sweater. You can see the fabric. This is awesome stuff. We gotta try the space zoom. First of all, this is a wide angle shot, 1 times right here, 3 times with the telephoto, then we use the 10 times telephoto lens, and then we can go 30 times. And Jay, can you imagine being 30 times zoomed in and it being this stable? Let's go all the way to 100 times. Oh man, look at this guy. But look how stable this is 100 times, Jay. What's nice is that it gives you this little viewfinder so you can see where you're pointing. That's not bad. This is 100 times zoomed in, still really impressive. And this is 30 times, like 30 times as a photo by itself, and like if you're not like zooming in, that looks pretty clean. Now, one thing that I have been experiencing with this phone is like some shutter lag. I take pictures of my son, Austin, a lot, and he is a moving target. So every time I'm trying to get a photo of him and it just does a shutter like a second or like a split second later. So sometimes it can make you miss a shot. Now, I do have my gripes with how the phone can handle color and exposure at times, especially when it comes to people.
And we all know the camera is one of the biggest selling points of this phone, aside from the inclusion of the S Pen. And I gotta say, my expectations for this camera were really high because we know Samsung can produce amazing cameras. But if I'm being honest, I was a little disappointed with how it performed in the conditions I personally use the most, which is indoor photography with human subjects. Now, Samsung touted that low light performance was going to be improved massively on this camera. Now, from my testing, I found that when taking pictures of a subject with darker skin, the camera tended to overexpose the subject, which led to inaccurate skin tones. Outdoors, this wasn't an issue, but indoors it definitely was. And you guys can see the difference between the skin tones here yourself. But if you aren't going to be consistently taking photos of darker skin tones indoors, you'll probably be just fine. Photos of objects were awesome as expected. I love getting shots of my Gundams, and the amount of detail that you can pull out of these cameras is seriously next level, especially when you're using that 108 megapixel shot. Even if you crop in a million times, it is still clear as day, especially when you turn on that enhanced detail mode. You really get some awesome stuff. Although I do wish the shutter lag wasn't an issue because I never quite know if I got the shot I wanted or not. And video's been pretty solid too, and while 8K has become a more viable option, I don't foresee a lot of people using it. I wasn't thrilled with all of the samples that I got in 8K, but it's cool that smartphones are pushing the envelope like this anyway, and I can't wait to see how they'll perform in a few years.
All right, guys, so it is currently 5:29, and I need to get going before Ari kills me. I don't want to miss bedtime, but there were a few more things that I just wanted to touch on before I got home and started wrapping up for the day. Some of which being coming from the software, thanks to the new One UI 4. But one thing that I like with these phones, whenever there's an update to things that protect your privacy, I'm a fan of. So there's actually a pretty cool feature here. If you go into your settings,
Too bright, too bright.
now it's too bright, Jay? Oh, come on. So if we go into privacy, you have access to all the apps. You can see all the apps that have permissions to go into like your camera. So you can see here, Instagram, Twitter. But one thing that I like with this extra consideration into privacy is if you go into an app that uses your camera, like let's say the Twitter, right? Let's say take a photo. So now you'll see in this top right corner, there's a little green indicator that lets me know, hey, this is using a permission like my camera. I think that's great. Protects your privacy. If you're one of those people that are always concerned about that kind of stuff, you can rest at ease that you'll always know what's going on with your phone. Jay, I think we stood outside too long, man. My nose is all stuffy now.
Get close to me.
Oh, come on, Jay.
And since we are talking about software, let's just talk about the overall performance and how it feels to actually use the phone in hand. When you're going through navigation, of course, everything feels buttery smooth and snappy. This thing does have an adaptive refresh rate all the way up to 120 Hertz. Scrolling on Twitter or social media feels really good, feels very premium, of course. And I find that overall this is a very fast phone. It is, of course, rocking the latest version of the Snapdragon chip, which is the 8 Gen 1 processor. This absolutely is one of those phones where you can pretty much throw whatever you want at it and it'll be able to handle the task. If you want power, this thing absolutely delivers.
But now, I need to head home, Jay. I'm gonna get killed. But let's do one more battery check. Oh my God, Ari's gonna kill me. So let's do a battery check here. It's 5:36, end of the day. I've got 45% left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I haven't been using the phone that much. Today was a pretty busy day, you know, we were shooting videos and doing all kinds of stuff. But let's see what the screen on time is. So I got 2 hours and 14 minutes of screen on time. Not super amazing considering the 5,000 milliamp hour battery in here. I feel like it's pretty average.
All right, you guys, so got home in time for bedtime. Austin's in bed, got some food coming. Time to reward myself with a little bit of Apex Legends. So it's not the end of the video. We still got some more to talk about. That's it for this day. All in all, I like this phone a lot. Samsung makes some of the best all-around phones on the market, and I think we can officially call the Ultra the most powerful phone of the year from Samsung. unless they do something wild and still make another Note, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the Note's replacement since we've got that S Pen built into it. Now, I have my own personal qualms about the camera, but it still does an excellent job. Battery life is dependent on how much you push this phone though. I think with my normal use, with having settings turned up to the max like the resolution, brightness, and some more, I get that typical 4 to 5 hours a day, which isn't bad considering how much I push this thing with all the gaming I do. But with more conservative settings applied, I was actually able to hit 6 hours of screen on time with 11% left. Battery life can definitely be good if you're intentional about it. Now, do I recommend this phone? If you've got the budget, you definitely won't be disappointed, but is the slightly larger battery, curved screen, extra camera lens, and other slight upgrades worth it over something like the S22 Plus? I'll save that thought for another video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. This is a beast of a phone and it's definitely going to be the one to beat for the rest of the year.